Tales of the Incandescent, Blackpoint, 11. In the vast expanse of outer space, countless galaxies away from our own, an advanced alien space station floats silently. It's here, in this distant future of 3067 AD, that our story unfolds. As the familiar bright light of the Tales of the Incandescent Illumination number 10 fades, a new scene materializes before us. The space station comes into view, a high-tech marvel of ovular shape, adorned with connected towers, flashing lights, and numerous windows. Encircling satellites and anti-gravitational technology complete this veritable mothership of a space fleet. As we zoom in, the scene dissolves, transporting us inside the station itself. The interior is a stark contrast to the steampunk aesthetic we've grown accustomed to. Here, sleek white plastics dominate, accompanied by neon flashing lights and touch-screen monitors. The iconic light bulb, our constant companion through these tales, seems almost out of place in this futuristic setting, yet it persists, a reminder of the journey that brought us here. X stands before a large window, her gaze fixed on the endless void beyond. The vastness of space stretches out before her, a tapestry of stars and distant galaxies. Awe tinges her voice as she speaks. Are we in outer space? Across the room, Y lounges at a futuristic table, his feet propped up casually. In his hands, he shuffles a deck of cards with practiced ease. Yup, sure are, he replies, his tone nonchalant, as if being in outer space is an everyday occurrence for him. X's attention is drawn to Y's movements. And what is it that you're fiddling around with over there? Playing cards? She inquires, curiosity getting the better of her. Y's lips curl into a slight smile. Sort of. Wanna play? He offers, his tone inviting. There's a moment of hesitation from X, her habitual apprehension evident in her voice as she replies, Sure. Come sit, Y beckons, gesturing to the seat across from him. Time seems to skip a beat, and suddenly X finds herself seated at the table, facing Y. He continues to shuffle the deck with fluid motions, the cards dancing between his fingers. With a final flourish, Y lays the deck down on the table and slides it towards X. These are called tarot cards, Y begins, his voice taking on a teacher-like quality. They're one of time's oldest games, and they weren't always in the form of a deck of cards. He pauses, allowing the information to sink in before continuing. The Bohemians popularized the use of them as tools for divination and fortune-telling. However, their history predates that by centuries. X listens intently as Y delves deeper into the cards' origins. They come from Italy, in the 15th century, where they were used by priests as a game to teach children about God and contemplations of the nature of the universe. Interesting, X murmurs, her eyes fixed on the deck before her. Y leans forward slightly, a glint in his eye. So, which would you prefer engaging in, the game or the divination? X takes a moment to ponder her answer, her gaze never leaving the deck. After a brief silence, she decides, the divination. Y can't help but roll his eyes, a hint of amusement in his voice as he responds, Everybody always is more interested in the divination. X's brow furrows slightly. Well, would you have preferred I had chosen the other? No, it's fine, Y assures her quickly. We'll do the divination. A thoughtful expression crosses X's face. We can play the game as well, you know? Have you somewhere to be? Y's gaze drifts to the window, his voice carrying a note of impatience. Yes, we ought not take too long before getting on to the next illumination. And why do you say that? X probes, curiosity evident in her tone. Y's response is tinged with a hint of self-awareness. Impatience, I guess. He turns back to X, sliding the deck closer to her. Shall we begin? X nods in agreement, reaching out to take the deck. All right, so how does it work? She asks, her fingers brushing against the cards. Shuffle the deck and draw 6 cards, Y instructs, his voice calm and measured. Uncertainty creeps into X's voice as she asks, how do I know which cards I am to draw? Y's response is cryptic yet reassuring. Whatever cards you draw are the cards that you draw. There are no such things as coincidences. X takes a deep breath, her hands moving to shuffle the deck. Her movements are awkward at first, unnerving her slightly. Y, noticing her discomfort, offers words of encouragement. Clear your mind. However you shuffle is how you shuffle. Remember, there are no such things as coincidences. Nodding at his reassurance, X takes another deep breath. She focuses intently on the deck in her hands, her shuffling becoming more fluid with each pass. Y watches her with an uncharacteristically serious expression, his eyes never leaving her hands. With deliberate movements, X draws the first card and lays it on the table. The Fool stares up at them, its meaning hanging in the air between them. Yes, Y murmurs, his voice barely audible. X continues to draw the remaining cards, placing them one by one on the table. The Magus and the High Priestess appear next, followed by the Two of Cups and the Lovers. Finally, she reveals the Devil, completing the spread. Y's face breaks into a grin as he surveys the cards before them. X's voice breaks the silence, filled with curiosity and a hint of trepidation. What does it mean? Before Y can answer, the scene is shattered by a deafening alarm. The sound reverberates through the ship as red lights begin to flash frantically. The peaceful atmosphere of moments ago is instantly replaced by chaos and urgency. What's going on? X exclaims, her voice barely audible over the blaring alarm. Y's grin has transformed into a look of concern. Shit! The place is breaking down or being attacked or self-destructing or something, I don't know. X's voice is laced with frustration as she retorts, You don't ever know, do you? Let's get to the bulb and unplug it, Y says urgently. I knew this place wasn't safe. They rush towards the light bulb, their movements frantic as the ship begins to shake violently. Through the windows, explosions can be seen erupting all around the station. The camera shakes, mirroring the instability of their surroundings. Where's it plugged into this time? X shouts, her eyes darting around desperately. I don't know, Y replies, his usual confidence replaced by genuine confusion. X's voice rises in panic. I don't see the wire. As they search frantically for the elusive wire, the ship continues to explode around them. The red alarm lights flash incessantly and the buzzers maintain their relentless assault on their ears. Suddenly, Y's face lights up with realization. Hey, wait a minute. I just realized. Fuck it, he exclaims, a goofy grin spreading across his face. To X's astonishment, Y sits down on the floor, assuming a meditation position. His eyes close, and the smug expression returns to his face. What? X exclaims, disbelief coloring her voice. Y's voice is calm, almost serene, as he explains his reasoning. The ship is being destroyed, right? So whatever power supply the bulb is plugged into is going to go offline eventually. So all we gotta do is wait. X can hardly believe what she's hearing. Are you kidding me? You're insane, she shouts, her voice a mixture of fear and incredulity. Outside the station, the full scale of the destruction becomes apparent. The entire structure is engulfed in explosions, with numerous starfighter ships swarming around it. Lasers crisscross the void, each impact resulting in another devastating explosion. Boom! Bang! Zap! The sounds of destruction echo through space. As the entire space station erupts in a final, cataclysmic explosion, a bright flash of light engulfs everything,